What about video games? Were you ever into them?
Yeah, I was, but I have enough of that addictive personality. Like, there's a reason I get even these addictions I'm not drawn towards.
Well, because you and I are about this, well, you're a little younger, but we're about the same age. And America technology advanced far quicker than Australian technology. So you probably had the technical gadgets before I did, even though I'm older. So what were you playing when you were in
I was forbidden from having a Nintendo when they first came out because my parents saw something in me that worried them. And they tell this story when I was really young. Whenever Nintendo was first like becoming a thing, I was like, I don't know, 5 or 6. And my parents tell me I can't have a Nintendo. And I say, well, I'm going to ask Santa because I think he has different values than you do.
Yeah.
And it turned out he didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I remember having friends who had a Nintendo 64 and GoldenEye being like,
oh my goodness,
amazing cutting-edge graphics. Where now you go back and look at it and you're just like,
but the gameplay
hilarious.
was terrific. GoldenEye, that's what you're Yeah. That was so good.
Yeah. So that sort of thing. Hours.
Do you have any video games?
Oh, games? All kinds of things. I mean, it's a way that I stay connected with friends from college, which, you know, is a whole can of worms too about like digital versus in-person things. But I'd say net total, it's been a good thing.
But what game were you like the most jazzed about at the time when you were playing it?
Oh, when I was...
For me, it was a game called Red Alert. It's like Command and Conquer.
Yeah, Command and Conquer is what I associated with.
And then Red Alert. I think it was called, I don't know, Command and Conquer was the big brand.
Yeah.
It's a kind of game where you can play the Soviets or the Allies.
That game was a lot of fun.
Oh, it's unsurpassed in the realm of point-click strategy games.
Right.
It really is.
The Civilization games are kind of in a similar thing. It's a different,
exactly.
You don't get to like
I've never really got
blow
into
up
them.
Russians, but that sounds very inappropriate now, but blow up Soviets.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, we'll make sure that's a really short clip.
You don't get to blow up Russians. I mean, maybe that's a moral advice. Don't blow up Russians.
Yeah. No, it was, what did you?
Well, I mean, it's not been one thing. When you were talking about GoldenEye, that's one of the earliest games that I remember playing and watching my siblings play. Had to be on paintball mode, though. You couldn't have it on the blood.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was the rule.
That was the rule.
That was set. Yeah.
Yeah, just all kinds of things. Recently, I've started playing Civilization, so I like that
Which
one.
one?
6.
Is it good?
Oh, nice.
Is it?
Played 5. I've never played 6.
See, for me, I haven't played video games in a long time, and what I find is when I try to go back into them to recreate this nostalgic memory I have of losing myself, and that's the word, in a video game, I can't replicate it, and I don't like it. I want to like it.
Yeah.
I want to lose myself in a video game, but I don't know, I'm so old and boring right now. It's like books and conversations are what does it for me.
Yeah.
That sounds pretentious. Believe me when I say I want to get into video games, but so for me, if I was to make the jump from Red Alert to Civilization 6, I think my head would explode. I think it would be far too complicated for me.
Can I say the game I don't get? Minecraft.
I like Minecraft.
It has the graphics from when our...
Yeah,
like
that's what's
that
so
was like
cool.
Nintendo 64 level
You're
graphics.
right, though, yeah. But what's funny is these kids have never seen those graphics. So to them, it's like this novel
that's
take.
the thing that I like... Oh, it's like one of my friends complains about camping, and he's like, we spent 10,000 years not having to do this. Like, this is insulting to a lot of progress.
Yeah,
and I feel the same thing about
people.
Minecraft. Yeah, like, you're just doing this for fun? You're just having bad graphics on purpose?
Have you played the game?
I've not.
It's quite cool. Do you want to pitch it?
Well, I was just going to say, if I had to point to one game, that'd be one that I have kept going back to over the years. It'd be Minecraft.
Wow.
It's infinitely creatable. I mean, you just find yourself in a place and you can build whatever you want. You could build a castle. There's people who waste their entire life building these things and then putting them on YouTube. And
wow.
My son's like, look how amazing. And my wife tries to discourage him. Like, oh, yes, but think about all the time he wasted. And I'm like, shut up, nerd. Me and my son laugh at her together. No, not really. That doesn't happen.
There's a line, there's an old Hitchcock movie, The Third Man.
Third Man. I've gotten into Hitchcock recently.
I think it's Hitchcock. It might be an Orson Welles. It might be an Orson Welles. I'm sorry, Orson Welles movie.
Okay, who is that? I'm excited.
Who's Orson Welles, or what's the third?
I don't know who Orson Welles is.
He did Citizen Kane. He's like,
I've never watched it.
It's regularly rated as the greatest movie of all time.
Okay.
I don't get it, and I think it's a problem in me. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, I have to assume there's more to this film than I'm understanding.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't. But Third Man, I love. It's a film noir. But there's a line in there.
What did you just say? A
film noir. It's like 40s era
kind of thing.
Is that what they mean? Like Humphrey Bogart does a lot of those. It literally means black film.
Oh, is that
but like it's like something that's a little like darker.
Yep.
Now we're like really into that with like the new Batman and all that. Like back then it was like a detective movie, and everything didn't always turn out hunky dory. It wasn't just like the Bells of St. Mary's. Like there was actual crime, and you looked at the face of it was gritty. But like back when that was novel and interesting. In there, one of the characters says, Italy was ruled by the Medici and like had all this bloodshed, and they produced Leonardo da Vinci in the Renaissance. Switzerland had 400 years of peace and prosperity, and they produced a cuckoo clock. And that line has really struck me, and I think about it a lot. Like it's pointing to something really. It's very funny, but it's also like pretty profound. And I just think about this with all these Minecraft videos. Like, is this the Leonardo da Vinci of our day? Is he at home playing 34 hours of video games a week?
That's funny. I thought you were going to put that in a positive light, being like, now we'll appreciate in the future the Mona Lisa that he created out of blocks. But that's not what you're saying.
No. I think like there's a certain way in which it is genius, and there's a certain appreciation you can have for it. But I also lament the way that genius could have been used elsewhere. I'll tell you, I discovered domino videos. Look, this was a YouTube rabbit trail. I'm not proud of myself.
I'm not proud of it? Okay, shut up. We all have our secrets. Domino videos.
People who build really elaborate chains of dominoes
so much fun to watch.
With different colors, and it's beautiful visually. It's like an incredible work of art and genius. And if you make a mistake, you'll undo like 6 hours worth of work because they'll do it. But then when they get it all set up, and they just flick one thing, and like an entire room like fills up.
Right now, we just lost like 1,000 people watching the show. They're all now watching domino videos. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Man. One thing I like to watch with my son Peter, we lay in bed together at night. Occasionally, we'll watch Bob Ross videos together.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You know the controversy with Bob Ross?
The what?
The controversy with Bob Ross? No. Apparently, that style of painting he got from his mentor, and then like.
Well, I think it was just the white. What does he call it? The wet canvas.
Yes, exactly. And then he kind of just like acted like he'd invented it, and so there's some bad blood there.
Okay.
Which is sad because Bob Ross is such a fun kind of character.
But see, even things like that, like I just hope that's wrong. I'm not going to buy that. I'd like to think that maybe he didn't pretend, but he just took it, and hey, that guy didn't necessarily have it patented or anything. But he's really enjoyable to watch. The kids love it.
He's upbeat. He's happy. He and like Mr. Rogers, I put in the same.
I've never watched
mental
Mr.
category.
Rogers. It was never a thing.
Yeah. There's the video or whatever, the movie about him.
Yeah. Was it good with Tom Hanks?
Yeah, whatever that one's called. Won't You Be My Neighbor or whatever it's called.
Are you talking about the documentary?
No, the movie with Tom Hanks.
I actually don't. No. Actually, sorry, you're right. I did mean the documentary. But I know there's also a movie with Tom Hanks.
Okay, all right. But it's the documentary.
I've never seen the documentary. Excuse me, I've never seen the Tom Hanks movie. I've seen the documentary.
I see.
And it's just like someone who is very not in a ostrich head in the sand kind of way, but just sees the good in the world.
Yeah.
And it embraces and it like affirms that. I don't know, there's something really beautiful
Neil,
about
would you
that.
mind getting my match out there? Yeah. I have a lighting box, but I don't have a match. And I've been waiting.
Well, I've always said you are unmatched.
Unmatched, very good.
Yeah, terrible puns is the other thing I do in my free time.
But video games, back to video games.
The thing I've thought about the Minecraft, like, magnificent sculptures is kind of this idea that just because it was hard to do doesn't mean it's kind of grandiose, I guess. So, like, if someone paints a giant sculpture and they say it's out of blood,
right?
But it doesn't make it look any different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it adds because now it's a story along with the painting, I guess. Mm-hmm. But in terms of the effort going into it, that doesn't necessarily make it more of something. So to me, the limiting medium, it's cool to see it, and it becomes its own like story that they put this work into it and done it in this weird roundabout way. But at the end of the day, it's not anything more of a product because of that.
Yeah, the art versus the artistry. That's an interesting distinction. You can say like, oh, here's this great portrait, and oh, by the way, the artist painted it with his teeth. And you're just like, oh, that's kind of a weird thing. Is the painting any good though?
How does that apply to Minecraft?
Well, it just takes a long time to, go into this virtual world and build it with little blocks.
I see.
It's just like, 3D modeling it or something like that.
Yeah.
Legos are the same way in real life.
It's very therapeutic though to make those little blocks. I think that's part of it as well. People aren't going in there with blood, sweat, and tears.
Right.
It's actually it is somewhat enjoyable to do.
There was a funny tweet where someone said the children are longing for the mines. We've banned child labor too soon. That
is so funny. Yeah. The other kind of games I really like, sorry, you didn't expect to talk about this constantly, but it's my show, is there's a game called Pandora Directive that was huge when I was about 15. It was the kind of game where you would just make your way through a world, asking questions of people, following clues, solving puzzles, but how you would treat people would affect the ending.
Oh, very nice.
So if you were just rude and took advantage of people, it would end very badly for you. And there's no way for you to know what way you're headed, so you're kind of encouraged to be more of a moral person.
And parenting is like this. Like, something may be coming to you down the road. It may be terrible. Yeah. The way you act now is going to impact it, and it's not totally clear how.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment below letting us know what you thought about the video.